Good morning and welcome to southern Spain for the first of Scotland's final two friendlies before the World Cup qualification campaign begins next year. Teams there, I'll just take you through them quickly. We think Scotland are changing to a 4-3-3. That's not what they've played in the last couple of fixtures. In goals, it's Sandy McIver making her first Scotland start since injuring her ACL. In goals is the veteran Katarina Sampson. In front of her, looks like a four of Maria McAneny, Jana Kotek, the captain Lyubov Shmatko, and Katarina Korsun. That she played in those two previous friendlies against Morocco and Switzerland. She gets it into Hansen. Caroline Weir's up there as well. And that's going to be a Scotland corner, the first of the game. But here, she curls to the front post, it's headed away from Cuthbert. And she pick out a pass, just crowded out. That'll go out for a throw on the far side. Slightly disguised ball to Thomas, she gets it back to Martha Thomas! Brilliant save from the goalkeeper. And then a foul. Well, that was a glorious opportunity for Martha Thomas to put Scotland in front. A lovely 1-2. The World Cup qualifiers in great detail because it is a little bit of a convoluted system. But they've got Belgium, Israel and Luxembourg. Hansen is in behind here, Thomas making the run to the back post. And it was cut out by Kotek there. Sophie Howard, probably Scotland's main aerial threat here. It goes to the front post again. I think that was saved by the shins of Sampson, but the referee's given a goal kick there. Interesting to see. Front post again, it's spilled. Well, there's a Scotland player down in the box. Ukraine able to get it away. I think that might be Sophie Gregory. Sorry, to Hansen, who's got the pace. Wins the corner. For all the good positions that Scotland are getting into, it's just been corners that they've won. McLaughlin, lovely ball to the back post. There was the header from Howard, and it goes over the bar. But that was another big chance for Scotland. That's two they've had now, and two they've passed up.
Yeah, it's a great...
Up against Muir again, that's a good cross. Freya Gregory takes the touch. Tried her best to clear it, and I think she wins the goal kick off Nicole Kozlova.
If anything, she will be looking for us to be creating more from open play, getting more shots off from open play. Like you said moments ago, a lot of our opportunities have come from set pieces, but...
Nicole Kozlova there, almost charging down Sandy McIver. Amy Muir did just about enough to...
Been unbelievable.
Decent chance there for Scotland as Hansen fired in the cross. It was well blocked though.
City plays on the left side, so she's extremely versatile, she's very flexible, and I think play her in any position across that back line and she'll almost always give you at least...
This is a decent chance for Ukraine. Nicole Kozlova trying the fancy footwork to get away from McLaughlin. There was just a bit of hesitation in the Scotland rear guard. Sandy McIver tries the first time cross looking for Hansen. She sticks a boot at it, but misses the ball. And that was another glorious opportunity. Weir with that ball over the top. The keeper's come for that one. I've seen that a couple of times from Katarina Sampson. That's a nice ball round the corner. It could come back. This could be the chance for Ukraine. They're in behind, and Ukraine are 1-0 up. Scotland caught cold at the back. And it's Kravchuk with the goal, working the lovely 1-2. And they have rarely threatened so far today in Spain.
I think we've allowed Ukraine to grow into the half, in my opinion. Ukraine started in a very, very low block. They're now coming out of that and progressing up the pitch more. But what a fantastic finish. She's sat Sandy McIver down.
Foul there on Rachel McLaughlin. And that ball just a little aimless towards the back post as Hansen goes down in the middle. And that will be a Ukrainian goal kick. And that is the half-time whistle as well. So not the first half that dominating the ball, but unable to convert that into a goal, and Ukraine taking the best chance that's come their way.
Making the wrong choices and poorly.
Any changes for Scotland as Ukraine go for goal from distance. And Sandy McIver a little worried on her line. Jumping up as the ball flew over her crossbar.
Have her back in the starting lineup today.
There's a decent run there from Kirsty Hansen trying to find Martha Thomas and winning this second half. Of course, it is an early kick-off for all of us. I don't think I've ever commentated on a game that's kicked. And again, Gregory with the foul, just has to be a little careful here. One thing we were also talking about at halftime, Joelle, was the ball. It sounds absolutely to Hansen. And that's one of the clearest fouls you'll see. And a booking as well for the goal scorer, Roksolana Kravchuk. Great, flying up in support. That's a good option to find Hansen. Gets there before the keeper, and Sampson does well to close it down. And I think that's just bounced back off Kirsty Hansen. Freya Gregory picked the right option that time. Erin Cuthbert into that challenge, and she's into the book as well. Not happy about that, explaining that happened to tick. Tries to low ball in, it's come right across and almost into the back of the Ukrainian net. But Sampson, here comes the cross, big chance for Ukraine, big chance for Nicole Kozlova, and she normally buries them for Glasgow City, but just didn't quite have the angle. She fires high and wide, still down, and then Docherty goes down, and Scotland, I think, are eventually going to get the free kick. The ball, and again, that's an important header from Kravchuk to just take it away from Erin Cuthbert. Ability teammate Hansen, who's played through here. Sampson out quickly. I think any other player wouldn't have had a hope of getting to that ball, but Kirsty Hansen has so much pace. And there's the cross to the back post. Sampson read that really well again. I think you say, Joel, the 37-year-old Davidson making the run across the defender. But again, Sampson out at her front post. That's a decent ball in. Davidson with the header. It's spilled by Sampson. The keeper has it at the second attempt. And as the clock dwindles down, Scotland starting to pour forwards. And that was a very good opportunity. The box, that's where she's gone. She squares it for Weir, well blocked. Taylor has a swipe.
Not come anywhere close to that today, so that will be one thing that Melissa Andriatta will need to ask of the group, and I'm sure she will.
Best chance in the second 45. They might be in now. Kirsty Hansen in behind. Will she go herself, or can she pick out a pass? She does go herself. And Sampson gets it behind. Scotland end with what looks like a glorious chance, but again, Sampson has all the answers given. Sandy McIver with the shot. Chance still on, could drop. Brown with the shot, could drop for McAneny! Scotland do have the late equaliser. They celebrate. But it might paper over the cracks of what has been a tricky performance at times.
Yeah, absolutely. The tenacity, everything about that was fantastic. A debut to remember for Maria McAneny on a day probably to forget for the national team.
We were just waiting and waiting for that there to fire high into the roof of the net and give Scotland a late equaliser.